What's up, everybody? Go ahead, subscribe below. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live. And let's get straight to it. So, after Khabib destroyed Dustin Poirier, I made a video and I stated that arguably Khabib is pound for pound number one. For good reasons, obviously. I mean, he at the highest level in the UFC, undefeated, and haven't lost a round yet. People have problems with my statement just because I said Jon Jones, the fact that he got busted for steroids like 3 times, he don't deserve to be in the number one spot. What's wrong with that statement? It's the fact that Jon Jones got busted for PEDs 3 times. Obviously, the third time, they said it was due to the fact that Jon Jones, when he took steroid the second time, the steroid don't leave your body to like 5 years. Like, I'm not an expert at that. So regardless, he took steroids. Steroids got into his system somehow. So how good can a fighter be if he takes certain supplements? If that's what we're talking about. If people say Jon Jones is the greatest UFC fighter of all time, then if we going based off that, then let's see how far a fighter could go with PEDs in his system. If Khabib takes steroids, how good will Khabib be? He already dominant enough. He probably will end up murdering somebody. So regardless of what people say, Khabib is arguably the number one pound for pound right now. I used to say Jon Jones is, but Jon Jones is out of the picture because he got busted for PEDs. I mean, his skills speak for themselves. Obviously, he could do it all. He could strike, he could grapple, he could wrestle, he could figure you out in no time. He got impressive kicks and an impressive resume in the UFC, and ain't no doubt about it. It ain't no question. I used to say he the greatest UFC fighter of all time. But that being said, he did get busted for steroids on more than one occasion. He took certain supplements that he wasn't supposed to take. So unless we allow fighters to take supplements now, then we can't claim that Jon Jones is the greatest UFC fighter of all time, because we don't know how many times he fought clean. Could he have beaten certain fighters like Daniel the second time if he wasn't on PEDs? That was one of his toughest fights. But he always came through with the help of certain supplements, because we all know he's not as disciplined as a Floyd Mayweather in the boxing ring. So maybe he needed certain supplements in order to be in shape. But regardless of that, that's his fault. However, Khabib, on the other hand, he's a clean fighter. He's a gentleman inside and outside of the octagon. Obviously, the Conor situation don't count, because look at Conor. He out here hitting old man. He out here sucker. He threw a sucker punch at an old man, and the old man ate that sucker punch. He ate that sucker punch for dinner. Just because he don't want that whiskey, how about you start fighting and promote your whiskey instead of hitting old man just because they don't like that BS? So obviously, at the end of the day, there's an argument that Khabib is pound for pound number one, regardless of what people say. My man said, hey, the Eagle. Hey, y'all saw how Khabib, they thought he was about to do that kind of, when he jumped Conor team, when he beat Conor and his whole team, they thought he was about to do that whole thing again in Abu Dhabi. He don't got no beef in Abu Dhabi. Shit, they paid him. He got oil money over there. He don't got no reason to jump the octagon. You know what I mean? Like, what if he jumped the fence? He's celebrating. Let the man celebrate. You know what I'm saying? They be thinking he's a bear for real, but he flew like an eagle, though. I'll tell you that. They were holding him back. They thought he was trying to jump Dana White. Him and Dana White, they cool. Obviously, Dana White is paying him money. He's about to get the bonus money. He don't got no reason to jump Dana White, so let the man celebrate. Like I said, they try to paint this picture of Khabib like a villain when he's the good guy. It's Conor McGregor, the villain. it's Conor McGregor who's talked shit about his family and his religion. That's why he went. I'll be getting calls, my bad. But my man said, who do I pick? My man, I can't read your name right now, but it's because the sun is on his hand, the screen of my phone. But he said, who wins, Tony or Khabib? Now, in my opinion, Tony is a fighter that I respect. Obviously, they were supposed to fight like 3 times. And last time, Tony really got mad at Khabib, talking about he was scared and pulled out of the fight. And Khabib told him incidents happen. And Tony went and was kicking steel and shit. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, you know better as a fighter. But that's a tough fight. I will favor Khabib in that fight, is because Khabib just smashes people. I don't see how Tony could fight. I mean, obviously he could wrestle and shit, but he's a good striker also. However, I don't think Tony could deal with Khabib ground game. I mean, he physically imposing. Even Dustin Poirier had him in tough position. Like, I think twice he had him at certain positions. Like, I thought Khabib was in trouble, but Khabib always know where to position his body, and he's just strong. He's strong physically. He wrestled bears. Like, come on. I don't see how Tony Ferguson could win that fight. It's gonna be a tough fight regardless. I don't think it's an easy fight at all. I see Tony actually giving him a better fight than Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier both combined, because they obviously didn't give Khabib that much of a fight. But at the end of the day, I still see Conor McGregor. I still see my boy Khabib coming on top. You know what I'm saying? When was the last fight Conor won in the ring? B Cherry, what's up? What's up, Aki? I mean, Conor McGregor, man, he been taking L's inside the octagon. Last time he been in the octagon, he took 2 L's. 2 capital L's. Khabib beat up the whole team, the whole squad. You know what I mean? Gave them all L's. He was just handing out L's. But, I mean, Conor McGregor, he got to save face. He has to do something. He got to either, like I said, get a win versus some kind of an opponent. Like, damn, bro, you came to the boxing ring, got your ass knocked out, talk all that trash. Khabib beat your ass. Harley won the Nate Diaz fight. You know, that was a very close fight. So, I don't know what, I mean, Conor McGregor, like I said, he in a tough situation. I mean, he got a battle with the judge next. Since he hit that innocent old man, you know, they about to make a field day out of Conor McGregor. They about to make an example out of him. But like I said, Conor McGregor, he got the complexion for the protection, though. He be all right. My man Stacking said Tony scraps very good, and he doesn't get tired. Yeah, but it's a different story when you fight. Like, when Tony fought Lee, he struggled versus Lee a little bit, you know. Like, let's be honest, that was a very close fight. And Tony, his problem when he fights Khabib is on the ground, is how he gonna deal with how Khabib, like, wrestles you and tires you out and put his body weight on you. That's draining. Throughout the whole fight, you gotta worry about Khabib bullying you inside the octagon. You gotta conserve energy. Obviously, Tony got great stamina, but you know, he has great stamina versus the fighters he fighting. Khabib fighting him is very draining. You know, so at the end of the day, I see Khabib winning that fight. But it's gonna be a good fight. I believe the best fight at the lightweight division in the UFC. So they should make that fight next. But Dana White came out and stated that if Tony Ferguson don't take that fight next, because as we all know, Tony Ferguson is dealing with some personal issues. You know, he got some personal issues going on right now. I'd rather not speak about it. But if he doesn't want the fight next, he stated Conor McGregor is an option. And Conor already came out and stated that he want the rematch in Moscow. So obviously Conor McGregor want that payday, because we know he can't beat Khabib. I mean, the dude beat you standing up and on the ground. And Khabib got away. I mean, Conor McGregor got away with so many dirty tactics, like hitting Khabib on the ground with the knee and shit. Like, he was fighting dirty and still lost. And still got his ass whooped. And still apologized in the octagon. But got the guts to say, I lost the battle, but I won the war. What war, bruh? Literally, you and your whole team got smoked, but you won the war? Like, you say that when y'all fought 3 times and you won 2 fights and he won 1 fight. You can say, yeah, I lost the first battle, but I won the war, like Muhammad Ali versus Frazier, right? But in Conor McGregor's situation, he lost the battle and the war. And he talking about he lost the battle but won the war. So Conor McGregor be talking out of his ass, and he got a humble beating from Khabib, you know what I mean? So JZG, what's good, y'all? Key, welcome to the live. But you know, like I stated, that's why I believe, obviously Khabib doesn't talk much trash, but he the Floyd Mayweather of the UFC right now. Floyd never lost a fight in boxing, which is unheard of, especially against the fighters he fought. I mean, Floyd Mayweather been there with everybody for like 20 years. And for UFC, a fighter, you could easily lose. There's so many ways you can lose. You could get kicked, you could get punched, your elbow pulled out, you know what I mean? So there's so many ways you could lose. So for Khabib to be undefeated, and not just that, but so dominant at the highest level in the UFC, and obviously he been a part of the biggest fight in the UFC, and that's Khabib versus Conor, where he went G mode. He jumped the whole team and beat up the whole team on some cheat shit. So how can Khabib not be considered as pound for pound number 1 when he haven't lost a round yet? Not only a fight, but not even a round. Like I said, Jon Jones is a great fighter, but he got busted for steroids. You know, if we making steroids legal now, then who knows who's the best? Like I said, if that's the standard now, then fighters could get so far taking steroids. You know, they could be not just undefeated, but they could be killing themselves in the ring. So, I mean, in the octagon. So at the end of the day, like I said, I stay by my statement. Khabib is pound for pound number 1. And it's not like I'm giving him extra credit. You know, he earned the credit. He earned to be called the pound for pound number 1. He remind me of like how Hagler used to be in boxing. He was like the middleweight destroyer back in the Khabib. The fact that he has to move up in weight in order to find a real challenge, besides obviously Tony Ferguson, who's that fight might not happen next. So why wouldn't he be considered as pound for pound number 1 when he's a clean fighter, when he's disciplined, when he's a perfect example inside and outside of the ring? I always tell people Andre Ward is somebody that I would tell my kids to look up to, because he's a perfect example inside and outside of the ring, because he won a gold medal. He was a pound for pound number 1 talent in the sport of boxing before he retired, and he was undefeated and never lost a fight after 12 years old with a broken shoulder. Khabib is the same way, just in the UFC. So he's a perfect example, a perfect role model. So like I said, that's why the UFC is trying to promote Khabib as such, because they know what time it is. Obviously, the UFC, they know Conor McGregor. There's no better promoter, self-promoter than a Conor McGregor. He took the blueprint from Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, I mean, Conor McGregor is basically a cheap copy of Floyd Mayweather in the UFC. And Floyd Mayweather really took that blueprint from Prince Naseem Hamed. Prince Naseem Hamed was a killer, an entertainer. He came to boxing when boxing was the shit. Like, boxing had Mike Tyson, Holyfield, Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather. All these fighters was fighting in their prime. The attention was in the heavyweight division. And Prince Naseem Hamed came, he was fighting at 112. He moved up to the 126-pound division and brought light to the lower weight divisions. he brought money to the lower weight divisions. They were fighting for like chump change. Prince Naseem Hamed came through and fought like for $4 million, $5 million a fight. That's unheard of, especially like fighters in the UFC don't even get paid that much today. Prince Naseem Hamed was making that in like 1995, fighting at 126 when boxing was only like the attention was in the heavyweight divisions, not the lower weight divisions. So Floyd Mayweather really took the blueprint from Prince Naseem Hamed, the money model, talking trash, being cocky and shit, which it was being confident in my opinion. It ain't really cocky, but people should be trying to twist it around. So like I said, Floyd Mayweather took it on a whole nother level and really finessed the boxing game. And the last fight with Conor McGregor, he robbed the bank. Bruh, Floyd Mayweather bet on himself that he's gonna knock Conor McGregor out in the 10th round or some shit like that. So, and he knocked out Floyd Mayweather in the 10th round, but people say, oh, he didn't carry Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor has skills. Nah, bro, he carried Conor McGregor. He just robbed the bank, and y'all just too slow to notice it. So, at the end of the day, Khabib is his own person. He ain't trying to be nobody. He not trying to be like, you know, Conor McGregor. He out here trying to be a fake version of Floyd Mayweather in the UFC. Conor McGregor obviously failed at that because he didn't have the skills to back his trash talk. All that trash, he talked more than Floyd. I mean, he talked trash all day. He could talk trash all day, but he can't back his shit up. So the UFC wants a guy that could, you know, if he gonna talk trash, he gonna at least back it up. And that's what they got Khabib for. Khabib, if he gonna say something, he means it. He ain't gonna talk the talk, he's just gonna walk the walk, you know. So what's wrong with that fighter being the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC? He got the resume to support it. He dominant enough to be the pound for pound #1. So what's wrong with Khabib being pound for pound #1 just because he don't talk trash? Well, you got Conor McGregor for that. Is he pound for pound #1? Absolutely not. He haven't won a fight for like 3 years. So at the end of the day, like I said, it ain't no reason for people to say that Khabib, or I'm reaching for saying Khabib is pound for pound #1. No, I'm not. I'm just being realistic. Y'all not being realistic. Y'all letting y'all feelings get in the way just because y'all like John Jones. I like John Jones. He one of my favorite fighter. Silva, that's one of my favorite fighters. But regardless of that, you know, your favorite fighter is not always going to end up being pound for pound #1. I mean, you see Conor McGregor done turned to a Ronda Rousey in the UFC. I never thought he was going to be a Ronda Rousey. I still believe he a better fighter than a Ronda Rousey. Obviously in the male division than she was in the female division. But regardless of that, he ain't pound for pound #1. He's just another Ronda Rousey. However, Khabib is the truth. Khabib proved it in the octagon. So when Khabib wants to go and fight a Floyd Mayweather in the ring, I mean, shit, if you want to go make that money, go ahead. I'm not gonna knock his hustle. You know, I want to see the brother get paid. He beat the hell out of Conor McGregor, and they took like $500,000 for what he did. Like, you know, well, after the fight when he caused the whole altercation between him and Conor McGregor camp. But regardless of that, I mean, at the end of the day, he still won the fight, and they should have charged Conor McGregor the same thing. They charged Conor McGregor $50,000 for the bus incident where he actually injured a couple fighters. Meanwhile, they charged Khabib $500K when he didn't hurt a goddamn person. You know what I mean? Obviously, a couple Conor McGregor fans got knocked out, but that's for talking trash. You know, it's one thing for the fighter to talk trash. He's getting inside the octagon. That like button too. Bob Ka said John Jones is pound for pound. He is with steroids in his system. You know, he will beat a bear then. If Khabib does what John Jones did and takes steroids, he will wrestle a bear in the octagon, beat a bear. You know what I mean? So What are we talking about here? You can't take certain supplements that's banned and get in the octagon so you can have an advantage, but you want to be labeled as pound for pound number one. That's unheard of. So opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. You got to support your opinion with facts. I'm telling you why I don't think Jon Jones is pound for pound number one. So bring up a better name, because he's already out of the equation. He got to prove himself now for a couple fights. You know, go to heavyweight, knock out a couple people. You know what I mean? Why you being clean? Where I don't want to see no failed VADA test. I don't want to see that shit. Then I'm like give him his credit. But he stated Khabib deserved number two. See, you got Khabib number two as a clean fighter, but you got Jon Jones as number one with steroids in his system. So, like, you know what I mean? So, regardless of that, you know, I respect your opinion, but you're not being fair at this point. You basically letting it, you allowing fighters to take steroids if you feel like Jon Jones is pound for pound number one. You okay with fighters taking steroids if you feel like Jon Jones is pound for pound number one? Are you okay? Are you fine with fighters taking steroids? Answer this question for me. Are you fine with fighters taking steroids in the octagon when they go in against a clean fighter? This not a sport where you're playing basketball. In order to get in the octagon, you don't need one ball. You need two balls to hop in the octagon. So you need two balls, not just one, right? So he said, hell no. So if you don't feel like, oh no, that's not, yeah, he said, no, that's, hold on, I gotta go back. I'm skipping comments. My boy, shit, I'm out here. Y'all got me skipping exits and shit. Hold on. Montoya say fact, he agree with me 100%. K said youngest champion in history and hasn't been tested once. Once in the cage? What you mean? Jon Jones, first of all, been tested, failed a couple tests. That's first of all. Hold on, I gotta see where we at, man. Because I done lost my way, man. My bad. I went off the live. But Jon Jones actually had a couple fights where they were actually split decisions. Man, this thing be kicking people out the live, man. I lost connection and everybody went off the live. But regardless of that, like I stated, Jon Jones, he had a couple split decisions. They were close fights, but he won, then came back and won the fight clearly. You know, so respect to him. But regardless, like I said, we don't know if he was on the influence of steroids or not. We don't know what kind of supplements he was taking at the time. See, Monster said no. He don't think fighters should be allowed to take steroids in the UFC. And even K, he agreed with me. He said nope. He said no, not at all. Even Diaz, they obviously got busted. They're my favorite, but they're not allowed to. See, you see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Jon Jones did. So we can't put him as pound for pound number one. You can't do that. Yeah, he's one of your favorite fighters, but you still can't do that. Why? Because he got busted for steroids. I'll put him on the top 10, obviously, no question, top 5 maybe. But number one, you pushing it. Especially, it's a bad reputation on the UFC. Can you picture Muhammad Ali being the greatest boxer of all time, and let's say he got busted for steroids? It will make the sport look bad. Your greatest fighter in the UFC got caught like 3 times with steroids. How is he the greatest fighter when he's cheating? He had to cheat in order to be the greatest. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just don't understand how people don't see where I'm coming from. But that's because their feelings in their way. See, my man say, Monster say, I used to like Jon Jones. Me too. You know what I mean? You know, people go through shit. You make a mistake, I understand, but fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This dude fooled us like 3 times. We gave him chances 3 times. So that's why I'm telling y'all, I can't have him as pound for pound number 1, because I gave him chances time and time again. It ain't like he got busted one time and that's all she wrote. Nah, he did it time and time again. You know what I mean? See, my man say he looks slower now and he's not the same. So, you know, you see what I'm saying? Let's see what he could accomplish being clean. Let's see how good he is. He has the experience on his side. He's active now. Let's see how good he is. Do you rank Tyson Fury as top 2 heavyweight? Now, listen. Deontay Wilder number 1. First of all, Tyson Fury ran from the rematch to fight 2 bums, right? He got busted for PEDs in the past. So that's why I can't have him nowhere near the top 2. You know, I believe it's Deontay Wilder and what's his name? And Ruiz. But if Tyson Fury is capable of being clean and beating Deontay Wilder, then he could take the throne. But he has to do it while he's being clean, while he's getting body tested. You know what I mean? That's the requirements. I respect Daniel, real athlete. Exactly. That's why I feel bad for the man, bro. He cried after the fight. Imagine you get knocked out while you was winning the fight, and then you find out the dude that beat you was on steroids. Like, you gotta be super pissed at that shit. That's why I keep telling people, bro, it's not fair for people to say Jon Jones is pound for pound number 1. It's just not fair for the athletes. Because the athletes that are clean and never cheated, they like, man, fuck, man, we should have cheated and made our way to the top and beat the fighters that we couldn't beat while we were clean. That way, after the fight, like after we get busted, hey, you know, I didn't know. Obviously, nobody will admit that they took steroids. Name me a fighter that admitted they took steroids. It's like 1% out of 100. So ain't nobody gonna admit they cheated. You know, you always gonna say, oh, well, it magically appeared in my cup. You know what I mean? Okay, you know why I asked that? Exactly, he got busted. That's what I'm saying. I already reported on Tyson Fury. I already fried Tyson Fury for not getting. But see, the difference between Tyson Fury and Jon Jones, he got the complexion for the protection. When he got busted, he blamed it on drugs and tried to say it was drug addiction and this and that. And they never exposed them for taking PEDs like they did to Jon Jones. Jon Jones don't got the complexion for the protection. That's why they exposed his ass. But Tyson Fury, he got the complexion for protection all day. They didn't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? But I already reported on it, and I called out Tyson Fury on one occasion. If you follow my channel, then you already know what time it is with me. I don't let no sucker shit like that slide. Even and my boy, hold up, I gotta get the name right. Monster said even Andre Silva I can't respect them. I can't respect them anymore. So yeah, me too. Like I said, you know, Silva, I don't know if he got busted early on in his career or later on, but I believe it was more so later on. But like, bro, if you can't fight no more, if you can't get your body to react to certain shit, you don't gotta take certain supplements. Retire. It's time for you to retire. Train a couple fighters. Be a local gym. Be a perfect example. You don't gotta cheat in order to compete. Like, man, that's why I don't respect that either. I agree with you 100%. Kay said Canelo, Manny, Fury, all get a pass. I just said, didn't you just hear what I say? Go back and watch my videos where after the Manny Pacquiao fight, what I made, how many videos I made, how I called out Manny Pacquiao on not taking VADA tested. Pacquiao never got tested for steroids, but he never got VADA tested for certain big fights. And I call him out every time. So don't come at me. Tell yourself that. Why are you ranking Jon Jones as #1 pound for pound? You're the one who ranking Jon Jones as pound for pound #1. I'm the one calling out these fighters for their BS. I'm the one that's calling out Tyson Fury, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez for failing drug tests. I did so. You out here trying to act like it's all cool. But you out here you trying to call me out. What kind of shit is that? Man, how people try to twist shit around. Like, you lose the argument, bro. Give me my credit. By John Jones the devil. Hey, well, you out here calling the devil number one. You know what I mean? And the holy person, Khabib, that's doing everything he's supposed to, you ain't trying to give him his credit.
Curve ahead.
The fuck? Curve ahead. Hold on, bro. I can't even read the comment while I'm turning and shit. Hey, if I get in a car accident, y'all paying for this shit. My boy said Tyson Fury fighting bums. No respect for that. Hey, I got a video dropping on that and how biased Max Kellerman was. Max Kellerman, every time he talk about Floyd, even though Floyd Mayweather got the deepest resume in boxing, he always critique Floyd Mayweather's resume, and he talking about, oh, he picked certain fights and shit, when he didn't. When it's Manny Pacquiao who actually fought fighters coming off a bad performance, not Floyd. Floyd always picked fighters coming off their biggest win. But when it's Tyson Fury in front of him, he's trying to act like he's fighting a destroyer next. Otto. Like, bro, Otto is a bum. Tom Schwartz is a bum. They didn't even fight. They not even ranked on the top 50. That's how pathetic it is. So Tyson Fury lost his title, the lineal title, for being inactive and getting caught with steroids, and regained it fighting Tom Schwartz, that's ranked number 63. If they don't tell you how corrupt ESPN and old media is, I don't know what will. Squad for life all day. Bomb squad. Huh? Bomb squad in the building. Silva got busted after snapping his leg at 40. Lord. See, like I said, you know, at least I'll let that shit slide. You know what I mean? If that's the case, you know, I knew it was later on in his career. But John Jones is more so in his prime of his career, you know. And like I said, you know, you get caught with shit at 40 because you busted your knee. Like, you need to quit boxing, man. God damn. I mean, not boxing, but quit MMA, quit UFC, quit sports in general. Just talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? You an expert at that shit. He said, my man said Tyson Fury, he a real life clown. Hold on. He play too much. Yeah. And when he called himself a king, he talking about Burger King. Like, that's what the king he talking about. Ronaldo said, salute Akis. What's up? What's up, Akis? What's going on, fam? Monster said Keith Thurman fighting Manny on steroids. Hey, Keith Thurman stated it. He was like, I don't care if he's on steroids or not. I'm still knocking his ass out and sending him to retirement. And I told everybody I'm favoring Manny Pacquiao since there's no VADA tested. I called it. Like, people got to give me my credit. But they try to call me out. Like, I called it. I was picking Keith Thurman in a close fight. As soon as I heard there's no VADA testing, I made a video. It was like, you know what? I'm picking Pacquiao all day. It's going to be a good fight, but Pacquiao going to be walking through Keith Thurman shots. And that's exactly what happened. It ain't like, that's why Manny Pacquiao is suspicious, because at 40 years old, you walking through Keith Thurman shots like he's a light puncher. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. So instead of people giving me my credit, they try to act like I'm hating when I'm bringing up facts to support my opinion. Like, I'm not just stating shit out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Ronaldo said Wilder, he resigned the longest. Hold on, I can't. Hold on. Oh, shit. I'm about to stop. Finally, we coming to a stop. Wilder has regained the longest at not touching the canvas over all the heavyweights. Exactly. Deontay Wilder haven't been knocked out. He haven't lost. He haven't got knocked down. Some people say Tyson Fury beat him, but that was a close fight. The early rounds was very close. I had Wilder winning a couple of the early rounds, and the fact that he knocked Tyson Fury down twice, it could have been a draw. On top of that, Tyson Fury didn't beat the count. So either way you look at it, it's a draw really, because they gave him extra time on some Buster Douglas shit. See, Kay said if you hold Manny, Canelo, Tyson Fury to the standards, I will hold John Jones to it. Look, I don't gotta say it. My resume proves it. I post videos, and I never take them down. You could go back, you could type in Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman VADA tested, and my video will pop up, and you could listen to what I got to say when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, any fighter that Dillian White. I still call him out on that bullshit to this day. Like I said, I take this shit serious because I respect fighters, and when fighters go in the ring clean, I expect the other fighter to be clean also, because it's a compact sport. 2 fighters died in the ring last month for taking too much punishment. So why would I want to see a clean fighter versus a dirty fighter? So I always been consistent on that, calling out even fighters that will turn down a VADA test. I will call a fighter on that, because regardless to that, there's ways you could take certain supplements and get exempt, or not, for it not to be showed on the test, on a basic test, on a regular like Nevada test. Those are not the best tests to catch steroids, you know what I mean? So that's why I always push for VADA testing. So I'm always consistent with what I say, and I mean what I say, and I stay consistent. And like I said, I don't go by what people say and what people like. I speak the truth. If you don't like the truth, if you don't like to hear the truth, then it ain't meant for you. If you want to hear some BS, this ain't the channel for you. I call shit for what it is, and that's why I made my channel, because I saw so much corrupt in the sport of boxing, so much biasness going on. That's why I made the channel. But anyways, Khabib pound for pound #1. I don't want to hear a damn thing. John Jones got busted. He a cheater. Let him prove himself, and we could talk about it. So we run it back on some other time. We go live, but subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual fans. And like I always say, click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live, because they don't send notifications if I go live if you only subscribe. So do that. Click on the like button. Watch the stream. If you agree with what I say, drop your comments below. And yeah, do that, fam. Hey, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, at the end of the day, if you think I was just talking, trying to support my boy Khabib, and I'm not consistent with what I say, then check on me and you'll see my resume speak for itself, like I stated. But regardless of that, appreciate it for tuning in. Appreciate it for y'all time. And like damn. Fuck, man, I made the wrong move talking to y'all. I'm out here 10 minutes late to an important ass meeting. But regardless of that, oh shit. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like the video. If you didn't watch the whole video, the whole live, go back and watch the whole live. And Bob K, yeah, appreciate it, fam. Like I said, check on it. Like I said, I don't know if you're, my channel is more boxing. I only cover certain UFC fights, the fights that I like. I like watching UFC, but I actually, believe it or not, I like Conor McGregor's style, which is striking. That's why I love boxing. But at the end of the day, Khabib is my guy, and he's just such a dominant force with his wrestling. And the fact that when he wrestles, you don't know when he's about to take you down or when he's coming around with a punch. So you always gotta be aware for both. So it makes you more vulnerable. That's why he was able to knock Conor McGregor down, even though Conor is an elite striker. He knocked out Dustin Poirier in like the first round, and the punch didn't even connect like that. So he's an excellent striker. However, at the end of the day, when you gotta worry about a person taking you down, and when he takes you down and keeps you down, he gonna bully you. You're gonna think you wrestling a bear and shit. So due to that reason, people will be really aware for Khabib takedowns, and then they gotta obviously try to keep it on standing up, and that's why they get caught with strikes trying to defend for takedowns. So that's how Khabib actually knocked down Conor McGregor when they fought in the second round. But like I said, I cover more boxing, everything. Like I said, I take this shit seriously when it comes to boxing. I know the in and outs, the politics, the BS, all of that. But I promise you, if you subscribe to this channel, you're only going to hear the truth and nothing but the truth. If I like a certain fighter, I'm going to still tell it like it is. I'm not going to be biased. I'm just going to tell it like it is. You know what I mean? So go ahead and subscribe below. I appreciate it for tuning in. And peace out. And to be continued on the next episode of Aki TV.